A lot of people that really pay attention, like they already know that you're a familiar face because they done seen me pop a video and sneak one in while we singing.
Yeah.
So they already think know a little thing or two.
Like we know this person. So that's
always cool. Yeah, we know this guy. We know him. That's good stuff. But yeah. But listen, guys, I want to kick this thing off. This is his safe space, and this is really a baby project for me. Not in that term per se. It's just meaning that it's kind of like a part of the life work that has been cultivated. And I have been fortunate really to be put in a position to create a safe space. Where I call it his safe space, it's really just not for men. It's just for the voices of men. But it really is a place where men and women do come together and we're able to, you know, engage in healthy conversations. It's about a learn and growing process. And we really can hear, like, you know, I don't know if he's going to tell some secrets, child. I don't know what's going to happen. But but to just tap into the mind, tap into the process and everything like that. And so I appreciate the transparency, the vulnerability that comes with that. And so I want to, at this time, introduce you guys to D, aka Mr. Soul. Mr. Soul.
Hey.
Hello. I want you to tell the people about yourself. You know, a little bit about yourself. Tell them what state do you live in? Have you been married? Are you single? You have children? Just a little bit what you want to share. Not too much, not too much.
Not too much. Well, what's up, guys? Again, I'm Soul, as Doc Holly has introduced you to me as. I'm from Florida, live in Florida, between Florida and Georgia. And, you know, yes, I've been married previously. I am not married today. I am single. You know, my kids are approaching that age of independence. So looking forward to, you know, it's never freedom. You know, everybody talks about, oh, you're free. You're never really free. You know, it's just, you know, now I could say, well, that's on you, bro. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. But
you got it.
But I work as an executive in the technology sector. I do more contract, more of a free agent at this particular point. But that's cool because it allows me to pick and choose the things that I want to do, where I want to go, how I want to do it. So nice. That's my story. As you see on my shirt, I'm a proud graduate of Arizona State University, Ira Fulton School of Engineering, one time Fear the Fork. Yes, we'll be Big 12 champions tomorrow, but that's for another chat, not this chat.
And coming up. I love it. But I really do appreciate you for being on here. One of the things that I have experienced on this journey is, you know, I too haven't been in the space of being married before. And then also, you know, coming into this single journey space, there's a lot of conversations that have happened. And much of what I tend to hear is centered around really the disappointments. You hear it all the time. There's pee and boo boo and all kind of stuff in the pool. Right. And I'm like, what pool are y'all in, child? But okay. But
I swim on the beach. So, I stay out of the pool. I swim at the beach.
I know you're right about it. So that's, you know, I think that's a thing, like the perspective. But I had a gentleman that literally came and gave an even deeper perspective to it, to where he shared and he said, you know, where people are talking about this pool being infested, the reality is that we're also in the pool. And if we're honest with ourselves, then we realize that we're playing a part of why that pool is the way that it is.
Very true.
And I love that he put it into context, because he gave the analogy that, for example, he also gave like this basketball analogy. Some people are on the bench, and some people are hurt, and some people are injured. Mm-hmm. Which are you? Because see, we can play hurt, right? Mm-hmm. But you're not supposed to play injured. And that's what we're dealing with, right? You know, a lot of times what we're experiencing is we're dealing with injured people who are actually in the pool, and that's what's tainting the pool. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts process on that, what you say?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that he may have left out is there's also a position that's being played, especially when you use a basketball analogy. That's the sixth man. So the sixth man is the guy that he's the superstar on the bench that comes off the bench to close the game out, make sure everybody's in their right places, make sure they're doing the right things. So that's me. So
Okay,
I'm gonna sit on the bench.
now.
I'm gonna sit on the bench, and I'm going to observe and see where we are in the game. And if we're at a place at a deficit, then I'm gonna come in and
I
I'm gonna
like
close the
that.
game out. If the game is in
Okay.
control, then I'm gonna make sure we continue to manage the game.
Okay.
So that's my
Okay.
perspective. If we're using sports analogies, that's my
If
perspective.
we're using sports, but listen, it makes sense. So that's the key thing. I'm trying to make sure that I keep this up because I don't want, to be disconnected. But what I can say is that I often find that men do use sports analogy. I don't know what that is about when y'all are talking about stuff.
It's easy to understand. I mean, I think the
Yeah,
perspective is easy. I mean, I could just as quickly use a math analogy. I can throw some
very
statistics in
true.
there, and then I'll probably lose 3/4 of the room when I do that. So, I like to use analogies that I think people will be a little bit more familiar with.
And the relatability. I think that that's the key
Absolutely.
thing. So yeah, yeah. One of the things that I did when I opened up this live stream, I really want to, make sure that we're very being about intentional about the connections that we make. I think ultimately, like that's a key thing for me, is the intentionality behind why we do what we do. Now, I know that there are seasons that people go through,
Hmm.
and sometimes they're not too intentional.
Right.
And so,
Right.
so sometimes, it's, a season of, this is where I am, but, and now I'm really laser focused. And so this is what I discovered on my journey is that I encountered, some men who had the mindset of, I am a casual dater, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that they was
Gotcha.
casually
Yeah.
dating because I
Yeah.
would not have even tried to talk to them. So,
Right.
the casual dater, and then also then you have the one that just really only just want to be friends. Like there's nothing else. And so there's that friends with benefits thing that I didn't know nothing about. And
Okay.
then there is the one that want the long-term relationship for sure. And then there's the one that wants marriage, that desires marriage. So and will pursue as a result of that. So based on your experience, where have you found yourself in that process when it has come to dating?
I mean, I think I'm more relationship minded, and I think it's just
Okay.
because I love the commitment and the romance of it all. It's kind of like I
Oh,
got my one person that I could do all these things for and be
yeah.
this way and all that good stuff. But I just kind of find myself maybe, and I say this with all due respect, but I can find myself kind
Mhm.
of getting bored when there's no reciprocity.
Ooh,
You
say
know,
that.
it's
I feel
that's
it.
yeah, it becomes like, I feel like I'm doing all this, and I try not to be the person that's just like I'm doing this and I'm doing that because I don't. I can count the offenses just as much as I can count the victories, but I mean, I just try to make
Mm,
sure that I'm at least consistent with it, and
yeah.
sometimes it's just like that consistency isn't the same. So I kind of find
Yeah.
myself. So I mean, I say this and I say, I haven't been in a ton of relationships. Like I haven't dated like, oh, let me pick you up on Friday and
Yeah.
let's go out, and then like I don't call you for the next week, and it's all good. Like I've never
Okay.
experienced that. I've
Okay.
more or less been
Okay.
experienced the like, hey, what did Bobby say in Switch in that song? Do you like me? Do you care?
Right.
Like,
Do
what I
you
mean, like
care?
that's my mindset is like, I want to know if it's you. Like, and if it's you, then we gonna ride this thing out. And I mean, I think that's also
Hmm.
got me in trouble too. So
Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're gonna talk about that a little bit if you want. But one of the things that I really can see is reciprocity is a
mhm.
big thing. Because I've heard that, like I had no idea. I'm out here in these streets. I've been counseling people for years, but when I came to live streaming in this capacity, it seems like I was overwhelmed with some of the information that was coming at me, and I'm like, dang, y'all dealing with some deep rooted stuff. So I knew that there were some things that would be lacking in relationships and in marriages, but when it's like the more that I was here, I'm like, dang, people are really dealing with this whole reciprocity thing to where it is truly one sided, where the man may be in it and he's trying to wine and dine, he's trying to, be present and be all this thing, and the woman is not really checked in with him.
Hmm.
You know, and really in a position of take.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that when you've been in this position to where, like you said, you're relationship minded and your heart is in a good space, but you happen to have match with someone that is not in the spirit of reciprocity and they are a taker, but you don't know it at first.
Right. I mean, you don't know it, but it becomes more evident as you go along the process. You know, I think the mindset is like, oh, men need to plan and men need to do these things. And I agree. I mean, I think we should definitely, be, a little bit more on the offensive when it comes down to planning things and setting things up and doing things. I try to not have a takeover spirit about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know I can. Like, I know, like, if you give me the green light, you give me the keys, and we driving, baby, we gone. But, I think, what I've experienced in the past is, okay, I plan these 5 dates, and it may not be anything, crazy significant, but, I planned them. And then after the 5 days, it's kind of like, I think it grows into an expectation.
Ooh.
And now it's like, well, you planned the first 5, you might as well keep planning them.
Keep planning.
Like, hold on, now pull on this rope a little bit. You know what I mean? I just need you to pull on the rope. I want to feel wanted. And I think, you start getting into, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but you start talking about masculine energy and feminine energy. And like, maybe as a woman, they didn't feel comfortable with doing that because they felt like, oh, it was decreasing their femininity. I don't know. I ain't want to get that deep. I was like, Suha, I just wanted you to offer me the milkshake. You know what I mean? Like when we was at the restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like, hey, let's go down to the milkshake yard or whatnot. I'm not looking, you got to take me for a steak dinner or nothing like that. We don't have to go to Chops or anything like that. I just, just make me feel as if you're in it too.
Gotcha. That right there is really, really deep. And I think for me, I've been in a place to where I've been in the shell shock mode to hear some men, because I have this idea, and this is just me, but I have this idea. I'm like, listen, you're an attractive guy. Like, who ain't gonna want to be out hanging with you and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing for my man. But to hear that some of this is not happening, then I'm like, dang, like, I realize that you guys are also having similar experiences just like us women, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it becomes one of those things where I don't want to do too much because I don't want him to think that I'm, whoop-de-woo. And it's like, if you've already understood what my position is, then I'm not like, man, she taking me out. She, she tricking on me. Like, that's not even my vibe. That's not even my energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you should know that. But I think, again, people tend to get a little swayed or dissuaded by stuff that's going on, outside of their bubble. They're looking at, this person, I always say, and, please don't take it personal, but, I always say the worst thing that's ever happened to social media is making microphones and cameras more accessible because
why you say that?
Because sometimes it's just like you get anybody that gets up on here or anywhere in the stratosphere, in this media stratosphere, and they start talking, turn the camera and their mic on, and it's like diarrhea of the mouth, just, and it's like, like for yourself, who's someone who's educated, in the science of these things or whatnot, what you say is a lot more respected. But it's kind of like, somebody that just said, I got an idea, man, women be man, men be man. And it's just like, what's your, like, where you getting this from? Like, what's your research? Right.
Can you tell us where you got that source?
Right. Like, what's the source of this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's crazy.
Wow. That is crazy. I think that's been a great tension for me too, especially when for me and my what I call my life work. This is life work for me. And so to be in it and to know that you are advocating for healthy relationships, you really want to see people thrive. And so whether that is something that is like, and my biggest thing is this, whether you choose it to be, something casual, or you're choosing for, the long-term committed relationship, like what works for you, or the marriage, I still want to see it healthy and I want to see it thrive. Yeah. And so I think when people come, and I think the biggest thing for me is that there's too many people that are not self-aware. They don't know what they want.
Right.
They have no idea. So when you're dealing with, when you're dealing with someone who is just out here just trying to figure it out, that can really have a big impact on you, and why you're getting some of the outcomes that you're getting as well. So
the thing that I had a professor tell me one time, it's not about what you expect, it's about what you inspect. And I wanted to put that on the wall. Along with a quote that you gave me several years ago, but I want to put that on the wall and walk by her all the time, because it's just it's so true. I mean, you have to temper your expectations and inspect the things that you think need to happen, and make sure that you set yourself up accordingly.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I like that. I guess so. Here's a big thing too. Like when it comes to dating, there's no timelines when it comes to dating. And I hear often men say about this going at a pace, going at a pace that's comfortable. But I also hear some men say that they don't want pressure, or they want to take it slow. So with that, it can be taken as if though you're trying to take things so slow because you're moving in a pace, place of fear. What are your thoughts about, in essence, when you're doing timing? Because again, we're in our 40s, and we got more years behind us than ahead of us. So, what are your thoughts about this whole timing thing, and what is sensible when it comes to that?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say I'm too old for the time. I need to know what's the deal? Let me know. Barbecue or mildew, what are we doing here? No, I'm just joking. I think timing is an excuse. Okay. And I'm going to speak for myself. Okay, so absolutely. There is a a situation where it was a young lady. She's very attractive. She's very, pretty much everything is going in a direction. Now, there are some things that I adored about her, and there are some things that, I felt like, I don't know. And so for me, I was kind of like, well, let's take it a little slower. And it's not because, I want she wasn't wife material or anything like that. It's just because I had options, right? And I didn't want to release those options quite yet. Yeah. So me saying the timing was pretty much just delaying whether I wanted to hang on to those options or not. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's
thank you for your transparency.
So I'm not saying that applies to everybody. I'm sure everybody has their own thing when it comes down to it. But I think especially like I said, when you say in this time, where I'm 50, and I'm I'm just like, hey, if I'm gonna do it, then I'm finna do it. Ain't no need for me to play around with it. You know what I mean? Because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be around, how much longer this equipment gonna work. I don't know. So I ain't trying to take a chance.
That's another conversation for another day. We done heard some stories, child.
I ain't trying to take a chance. Yeah, if you want, and my thing is, I don't really put myself out there like that. You know what I mean? I'm not the person that's, I'm not on the dating sites. I'm not on any of this stuff. I'm not actively, dating. Okay. I just believe in organic relationships. So
that's good.
So, it's not that I'm putting the pressure on myself. I got to go find her. But, it's just when I do, if it's you, then hold on. We about to go. Cause I need that's somebody to be the beneficiary of these benefits that I have. Listen. I'm trying to put you on the wheel, sweetheart. I'm trying to put you on the wheel. What you talking about?
I hear you. Come through. I love that. I love that mindset. To me, when I hear a man who is very intentional, like you said, you're not looking to move so fast to where you're just making haphazard decisions. However, you're not trying to live this lifetime to where you're just trying to do it alone for the rest of your life. You really do want to have an emergency contact that ain't mama, daddy, children, stuff like that. So I get it. I totally get it. Listen, guys, if y'all are new to the stream, we are live. We are having a great conversation. This is my boy Soul. If you have not done already, make sure you hit him with a follow, because that's a thing. You know how I say, you owe it to yourself, honey, so pay what's due. We are just here just having a good conversation between friends, and I really appreciate him being present with me. We are obviously talking about relationship talks, but just really kind of like tapping into his journey and where he's been and where he's open to going. And that's a good thing. And so I really appreciate him sharing in this moment. And so this is a safe space, as you guys know. I'm really big about that. And I think that's another reason why men are so comfortable coming to talk to Doc, is because it is safe. I'm not judging you, but I may look a little cross-eyed. You're like, wait, what? What you say?
It's like, 'cause you do not have the poker face, Doc. So let's be clear. What's that song, Rude Boys is written all over your face? Yeah, that's you right there.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, let's focus. So please don't do that again. That is wild. Oh my God. And he sings. Yes, he does. Very, very well. So listen, I'm not going to pay attention to the comments because y'all are very distracted. And so he and I are intentionally not reading comments. So we're going to keep going into the conversation. I picked up where you were saying about the fact that you really have not used dating apps. I have in the past. And in this season of my life, I've always had the mindset about the whole being organic, the naturalness of things. And I have very few relationships under my belt as well, being very intentional. I just found that in this season, for whatever reason, with dating apps, they really just don't serve like this purpose. And I just feel like people really have tapped out, even more so in this season than they did when I started using them like back in 2018. And so, yeah, it's just not a thing for me. So I know that there has to be a rhyme and reason as to why, number one, I'm sure you have standards. Hello, somebody. So I'm sure you have standards, and but do you think, and preferences, because those, to me, those are two different things. So standards, are one thing, preferences are another. But do you think that it's difficult for people, like when you're meeting women, for them to accept your standards and your preferences for what they are?
I mean, yes and no. And I mean, I know that's like totally evading the question, right? So I try to be a little bit more direct with my answers.
I was gonna send you a text message. No, you lying.
Yeah. I mean, I think, number one, yeah. I mean, I have standards, because I have children, right? So I mean, there's a coach that coaches for this team in Western PA. I won't mention their name because I'm sure some fans of the team. But he says the standard is the standard, right? It has to be that way every single time. It's the same thing that I tell my team members. Like, listen, when we get to a certain point, like we have to understand in life that like we have to uphold something. You fall for anything. You know what I mean? If you don't stand for anything, right? So yeah, I mean, I have standards, but I haven't. I'm also graceful. And I think, as we start to explore, our relationship with whomever you worship, I think grace is a big part of most of those facets of life. And I mean, I think that I know I've fallen well short of a lot of stuff in my life. And I just try to understand that people sometimes are on a journey. I'm not looking for perfection. You don't have to come to me like, I need you to be 1,000% healed and da 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 da. I just want you to feel comfortable with understanding that I'm graceful. And if you're on a journey and if we're willing to go through this together, then okay, I'm cool with it. As long as we're communicating that way. I think the problem that happens is people get afraid, and I get it. Like, I don't want to tell you what my warts are, right? Because you're going to run, right? Like, oh, I was battling. I mean, look, it's everybody's prerogative to do what they want to do. If I tell somebody like, oh man, there was a time, man, that I had the porn was overtaking my life, right?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I tell everybody that it was a season of ridiculousness for me, right?
Right.
But it's not something that affects me today. But I think a lot of times people say, "Oh, you was watching that porn, so you probably gonna,
So that's what you're doing now,
right?"
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, no, I'm telling you up front, like, hey,
This is where I've been.
this was a stronghold, right? And these are the things that I did to overcome that. And
Nice.
so, my standard is just try to be as honest as you possibly can. Now,
Yeah.
preference wise, yeah, I mean, I think everyone has a preference. People like what they like, and it's okay. I think it shouldn't get to a point where it becomes ugly and discriminatory, but I think, like, look,
Okay.
if I say,
Okay.
I mean, I like my women, light skin, 5'6", 5'7", she might have braids, something like that. If I say,
I don't know what's going on here.
no, honestly, if I say, that's what I like, then I don't think people should take offense to that. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, just like I think some cats be like, I don't, these women, I don't like this and I don't like that. Or even some women that say like, well, I want my man to be 6'1" and all that other stuff. Okay, good for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not that insecure. You know what I mean? Where I'm
Exactly.
just like, like, oh, well, what's wrong with her? That's what's wrong with women in the world. Cause they, they want these elevated standards of things that nobody can uphold. Like, man, whatever. That's not the person for you.
Yeah.
Find your
Yeah.
person
That's good stuff.
and move along.
Yeah. Yeah. You were talking earlier, welcome in, be yourself. You were talking earlier and you were, implying about like the actions of a person, like you wanting them to be present with you. You want to know that they're into you just as much you're into them. Like, what are some of the ways by actions that you have seen and known that a woman is, in essence, into you?
I mean, I think, one of the things is, being a little bit more understanding, listening to really hear, what's going on is, instead of listening to respond to everything. For me, that's one thing, I mean, I'm not shy, and I'm going to talk. And I mean, you already know this or whatnot. So, I try to say, hey, look, listen, just, listen to me, check me out. Listen to what I'm going through or whatnot. Once you have the opportunity to do that, maybe you can have a little bit better understanding. Proverbs 3:7, all you get understanding. So I just want you to get understanding, right? Just understand. So when it becomes like, well, I want to dominate what you talking about. Like I'm only talking to you so that I could justify my actions, the things that, the things that I got going on and whatnot. And it's like, no, like, give me the space for me to express to you because you want me to communicate. You want me to be this big communicator. Give me the space to be able to tell you what's going on. And then after that, then, we can have a discussion. We can have like you like to have like a Q&A after the fact. And I mean, look, everything's not perfect. It's not always going to go that way. But, I think it's important for that to happen. Number two is, number two for me, honestly, is just like, hey, man, again, put the effort in. If we've been dealing with each other for a particular amount of time and you don't know anything about what I like, what I like to do. Like, I know everything about you. I know your favorite color. I know you like the coffin shaped nails. I know you. I mean, I know all these things, these intricate details about you because I've asked, because I know that those are things that that may be to your benefit in the future. And like you don't know that my favorite football team is, please don't clown me, y'all. My favorite football team is the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they soft. They were soft last night. I know y'all gonna talk about it.
Wow.
But like if you don't know that by now, as much paraphernalia that I have as my license plate, all that other stuff, it's all like you're not like saying, hey, how did the Dolphins do yesterday? After like a month, like, dang, you can't even ask me questions like that. It's like, where's the effort? There's no effort, right? I mean, and three for me, when we start talking about love languages and things of that particular nature, I mean, it's like acts of service is big for me. Like, so like if you see me doing stuff that I usually do with doing my STEM stuff with the kids, the boys, the girls, you know what, any of that stuff, like, and it's just like you just like I had this one young lady that's just like, them little kids ain't gonna amount to nothing anyway. I don't know why you wasting your time.
Wow.
You know, I was like, hello.
Wow. So
like,
insensitive.
Because you're not
That's
finna talk
very
about,
insensitive.
you're not finna talk about my kids. And I mean, when I call them my kids, those kids.
They're yours.
Those
You know,
my
this
kids.
is someone you're mentoring, you're investing time with. I get that. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, here's another thing too, like this real big is that relationships, you know, it requires effort, but it should not feel like a job. Right. And so my question to you is, in that space, I know I have loved and I've been in love, but I have an idea that it should not be hard.
No.
What are your thoughts centered around that when being in a relationship, you find yourself to where it has been, you know, hard. It feels like a job, and it becomes challenging.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like I gotta, present you with a 1099, then we got a problem. Right? You know what I mean?
It's like, the 1099 for
right.
me.
You're a contract worker, and I'm claiming you on my taxes. Okay, like I'm gonna get a benefit some kind of way. But right. No, seriously, I mean, it shouldn't feel like a job. Like, I mean, it's been relationships, and I think it's been on both sides where the person that I've been with probably felt like it was a job. Like, oh my God, this dude, he's so, and it's been times when I felt like, man, I mean, I think one of the last long-term relationships I was in, it felt like it was a job because it felt like they did not want to put effort into doing anything. Not with themselves. It was just like, this is where I want to be. I've gotten here, right? And I have no plan of trying to level up.
Gotcha.
I just want to be here. And you know what?
Okay.
That's cool. If that's what you want to do, then don't be mad at me when I decide to say we done.
Yeah.
But when I say we done, then you mad and it's like, but the opportunities for us, and not necessarily for them to do it alone, but let's do it together. Like, hey, I know how to do this, and I could bring you here if you want. Nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with my credit being low. And I mean, look, everybody's on a journey with that. I'm not trying to,
everybody's on a journey. Yes,
right.
yes,
I'm not trying to make everybody feel a certain way.
That journey may not be your journey.
Right. But it's just like, look, okay, well, if I'm telling you like, okay, let's do this together, I'm willing to expend my resources to help you get there because I want you to get there. I'm invested in you. I care about you. I love you. I want you to be better. Not just for me, but you got children, like, and we start getting into generational things. Like, let's break these generational curses of everybody only going this far.
Exactly.
But
that's good stuff.
You can lead a horse to the water, but what can't you make them do?
That's it. And the last question that I want to ask you before I hop in and start talking to Mr. Be Yourself, who is our next guest that's going to come up. Yes. I want to ask you about the right person for D. The right woman for you. Have you ever been in a situation to where you've been ghosted is a thing, kind of twofold, but then you've connected with someone that you, in essence, deemed that they were the right person? So there's two impacts on there. Being ghosted and then someone you deemed was the right person, but obviously something happened there.
I've never been ghosted, and I think I just have never put myself in that situation. To be ghosted. I've heard about it a lot, and I'm like, dang, like that's
ghosted,
crazy.
Child, I done ghosted. Okay, carry on.
I mean, to each his own. You do what you do, but I've never experienced that, so I can't really, I can't speak to it too much. As far as, I mean, I've had that person, and hindsight is 20/20, right? So we look back and we say, God, boy, I messed that one up. And I've had that person, and that person is still kind of is around or whatnot, whatever. That person is just like, man, well, I should have acted right because, they was the right person. They were the right person. But I just chalk it up to, it's all in God's timing, right? You know what I mean? Like, and then when we circle back to the timing, like, I just try not to put pressure on it. It's just
that's
like,
good
hey,
stuff. Because what is meant to be,
right? In case of Rasa
will be.
Right. Right.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you, D. Guys, listen, if you have not done so, like I said, make sure that you're following D, aka Mr. Soul. I call him D, I call him Soul. I get confused, and I might call him his real government name.
It's out there.
So
Listen, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. But yeah, if you follow my page, for my page, I like I say on my bio, I love to run. I just did a half marathon yesterday. I'm one of those crazy people
that's crazy. That marathon stuff
or whatnot. So
man,
that was half marathon number 17 or whatnot. You know what I mean? So I'm into it all. I also, I sing a little bit. So if you
don't stop the cap with like that cap that you got on your head.
if you want to check me out or whatnot, like that's one of the things I like to do on TikTok or whatnot. So
absolutely, that's cool beans. Okay, so I'm gonna mute you up, or you can mute yourself, and then I'm gonna ask Mr. B yourself to come to the forefront, please, sir.
Appreciate
and mic up. Thank you so much, and stay put because I got a couple of more questions I'm gonna ask you guys before we get out of this whole live stream together. Is that good?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, thank you.
I think D might need to stay around. We need to talk about that them dolphins. I feel for you, dog.
Come on, bro. I'm already in the therapist chair.
My man. You might,
he said he already going through therapy, sir.
I'm gonna hold hands and sing Kumbaya. I'm just saying.
It's bad, bro. It's bad. I'm sitting there. Last night I was sitting there looking like, I can't believe this, man. I can't believe it. I just went to sleep.
Oh, I could believe it. I would like that.
Y'all are wild.
Yeah, they done made me mad for them. See, I almost had to watch the rules. Extremely loyal. So that should tell you, like, see, I deal with you through your losing season.
See, because I'm loyal to my Cowboys, and I deal with them through their losing season as well. So, okay, carry on.
Dallas fan, so
Dallas fan, praying for all the Dallas fans. Oof.
Don't pray for me.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all get to it.
Thank you. Mr. B yourself, thank you so much for taking time to join me. I know that you are in right now handling some business, but you took time out of your busy schedules to come and be present with me. Be yourself is someone that I met, like when he was one of the first gentlemen that I actually met when I came to TikTok. And when I tell you, he's just a cool, down-to-earth guy. And I found myself chopping it up with him, and it was just comfortable there. I like it when I can chop it up with you and it's comfortable. Like we done had a whole FaceTime and I don't even have an iPhone and we just talking. So I love it when I can connect with people and we have so much in common and it's just natural and it's very organic, and that's being kind of like our connection from the very beginning. So be yourself. I would love for you to share just a little bit about yourself, what state you're in, your age, your if you're single, like what's going on with you, whatever you want to share, just share in that space, please, sir. And thank you.
Let's see, where do I start?
And please don't be a jokester.
Well, now I can't be myself. See, now you want me to be somebody else.
I knew he was gonna say that.
How do I not be a jokester? Oh my God!
Right. That's a part of who you are.
I'm in Georgia. I hate to use this word, but yes, I'm single. Oh God.
It sounds painful.
It is. I'm in, right now I'm in one of them, because you and I talk a lot. So I'm in one of them. I'm in one of them depressed states. To an extent, because when you see yourself at a certain age, you see yourself doing something differently. I know when I was younger, I seen myself at a certain age. Like when I get to this age, I'm going to be, bam, that's where I'm going to be at. And I got to that age and I'm not bam where I was supposed to be at. I wanted to be married, wife and kids. I ain't going to say no white picket fence or nothing like that. But,
right.
Married, wife and kids, chill, somebody to come home to, somebody to laugh with, somebody to have a good time with, all that. And right now, yeah, that's not happening right now.
Gotcha.
House single. Pure single. Single
Please
as
don't
a
read the comments because there's some jokesters down there. Don't read
okay.
it.
But yeah, I see myself at a certain point where I wanted to be at, and I'm definitely not there, and it makes me upset, because you try and you try in these relationships, and whoo, if two people
It's
not
a
on the
lot.
same page,
That's
baby,
the challenge.
yeah, it's that swamp again.
Yeah. Have you? So now, I know you've been in this place of dating and everything, and I just feel like that when you're in the dating pool, rejection is a huge part of it. Have you ever like experienced rejection as a part of your dating process?
I get rejection all the time, Doc. Doc, you always reject me. You'd ghost me.
God.
You do all that, Doc. Doc,
This is
you do all
wild.
that, Doc. You
Y'all
reject me,
be
you
on
ghost
board.
me.
I reject and I ghost you.
Yeah, you do it all, Doc. I be
That is
trying to fight
wild.
for it and everything, but it just don't look like that. But no, yeah, rejection is part of it. It's only two things you can go for: yes or no. You know what I mean? And if you're not good with taking no, then it's not going to be a good time for you. You know what I mean? I'm not everybody's cup of tea, which I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Because everybody's not my cup of tea. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is what it is. People try to talk to you and you be like, nah, I'm straight. Then the next thing I get told is, well, you're blocking your blessings. I'm like, well, okay, that's what I'm doing and that's what I'm doing. There'll be another blessing coming soon.
Facts. I feel you. So then when it comes to like dating and you're going through the flow of things and matching, I know boundaries are a key thing, let's just say. So what are some of the boundaries that you have set that are key to your process in your singleness?
Boundaries with me are I'm kind of flexible with certain boundaries. My main thing is respect. You know what I mean? If you're not respecting me, then it's not going to work. You know what I mean? The whole key is respect. If you want to do it, if you want to bring a relationship and be single, then that's not going to work.
Yeah.
You feel me? You can't.
Yeah.
A lot of people want the title of relationship, but they don't want to do the job duties.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to go to work. A lot of people want the paycheck, but don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? They were like, oh.
That's definitely the truth.
Yeah.
Even in real life.
Yeah. I'm one of them people, like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hit the lotto, but you got to play it to hit it. I don't play it, so how am I hit it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So boundaries like that is just, my first thing is respect. If you're not respecting me, then that's one of them red flags right there. That's gonna make me go crazy. Like, yeah, this ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? And I try to work with you. I try to, and that's one of my flaws. I'll stick around to see if I can maybe direct you or turn you, but after a while it kicks in. Like, something, this ain't gonna work.
Interesting. Okay. That kind of leads into my next question for you, because I just feel like when you have such this, what I deem to be grace, you give grace often. I feel like that can put you in a place where you attract people who tend to be ghosters or breadcrumbers, because that's a reality of what we're dealing with out here in the singleness. And you really have to show up for yourself because people are not showing up for you in that capacity. How do you deal with people who are, in essence, leading you on the breadcrumbs, just giving you just a little bit, and then the ghosting aspect of it? Because like you said, you've dealt with rejection. So
yeah, I mean, I dealt with rejection. I don't think I ever been ghosted. I don't think I have.
Okay.
If I did, I never noticed them because they probably didn't hold. It was like, whatever. Yeah. So if I was rejected, then I guess that's one up on me. Rejection. I mean, it is. Rejection is just what it is. I don't. Let me say this. It depends. It depends how I'm feeling you. Let me say that. It depends how I'm feeling you. Like, I can see somebody like, damn, I really got to know. I got to get to know this person. I got to, and I agree with D. Like, when I go in, I'm all in. I mean, I'm
Gotcha.
in. I'm going full speed. Let's go. You know what I mean? I might have the ring in my back pocket. I'm just saying, hey,
not the ring. Lord.
No, but
Good
I'm
Jesus.
going full speed. I'm like, hey, what's next? What you want to do? I mean, I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to do things differently than anybody else trying to do. I have this thing that I have over, my bed. Anything I put my hands on, I got to be the best at it. And that's just something I put myself on since I was younger. Anything I do, if it's fatherhood, this is a job, it's a relationship, I got to be the best at what I do. I'm going to do something different that ain't nobody else done. So that's who I am. I mean,
Gotcha.
you got to be yourself. That's me.
Definitely got to be yourself. I can see, look, you have coined that. That's your trademark for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
For
Yes,
sure.
ma'am.
So then, be yourself. How has it been like on your journey? How have you been able to truly determine like when a person is really interested, like that genuine interest? How have you been able to determine if a woman really is into you? How do you recognize that?
That's a good question, Doc. And I really can't answer that because
Okay.
I'm single, so I guess I've been choosing the wrong one. So
That is wild.
so I guess that instinct is off. I guess I might need to put a battery in that one. That one might be
So
turned off.
something's going on. I don't know. Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair. Like I love the honesty.
See, and my mom always say, she told me way back when I was going through my first little heartbreak. She said, "Let me tell you something. Us women, we're very mischievous. We know what we want. We know what to use to get what we want. So to try to understand us, it'll never happen. Don't worry about it. You just gotta, lead with your heart, lead with your mind, and see what happens. And then she'll be like, well, then you gotta pray on it and drink some water. That's her whole thing. Pray on it and drink some water.
Listen.
Yeah, that cures all.
Hydrate yourself. But I agree with your mom as far as not diving so deep to where you're trying to understand a woman.
Right.
Because the reality is that when you're getting to know each other, it should definitely be organic. And for me, I realized just listening to my grandparents and how they intertwine. My grandmother was very extrovert, my grandfather being a little bit more introvert, but they balanced each other. But truly, this woman, Lord have mercy, he would always say, I learned something new about my honey. I learned something new about, like every time we looked up, he learned something new. And he was constantly doing that throughout their 66 years of marriage. So
Right.
I understand that as people, we tend to grow, we're changing, we're evolving. Heck, I am not who I was 5 years ago. So good luck on that, So I realize that there's going to be times that you want to know, you want to understand, but I think as long as you're conscious of kind of like growing together and creating the bond, I think that's the key thing. It's because I was talking about connection earlier. Like keeping that connection and letting it stick and stay is very important.
Right.
So one last question before I jump into this, going back and forth with you and D and asking you guys some questions together. Bad dates. Have you ever been on a bad date?
I've been on a bad date. I've been on a bad date.
Did it teach you something? Okay, so you've been on a bad date. What did it teach you?
I don't know if I've ever been on a bad date. Let me think about that one. Have I ever been on a bad date?
Have you ever had a person that was just the wrong person, for you and you made it up in your mind that I must be one step closer to the right person because good Lord.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I met plenty that I knew was wrong for me.
Okay.
And, that's when you you step out your comfort zone to try to do something different, and that person just bonkers, that person is just not, it's all over the place on their phone. Yeah, that's a person that would be a bad date for me. A person that's constantly on their phone. I mean, like if we sitting here trying to talk and you constantly on your phone and I mean, because I can put my phone down on a Monday. I want to pick it up again to Wednesday, Thursday because ain't nobody calling me and texting me. So the person that's calling and texting me, that's easy.
Yeah, I'm real big about that. I get the whole phone thing. That's a big one, big no.
Yeah,
big no.
Yeah, but I never been on. I don't think I don't. And I'm thinking going back over my dates that I had. I don't think I ever been on a bad date. I've been on a date that wasn't. Wasn't exciting. I went on a date that I knew I wasn't going to continue the next day. I knew that already. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah, you're not gonna get another call. This ain't gonna happen again because you're just boring. I can't be with a person that's.
I was gonna ask. So, what was it about this person that just so they was just boring to you?
Too serious. I mean, I'm a clown. Okay. I like to enjoy I like to enjoy my life. Every day I wake up in the morning, I'm like, ooh, I made the list up. I can make some more jokes today. So yeah, I like to enjoy myself. And you super serious all the time. We ain't gonna mix. We ain't gonna mix at all.
Are you able to balance out that being the clown to like a time and place, or are you just like all the time?
No, I can balance. No, it's a flip of a coin. I can balance it out with ease. I believe if we're out somewhere, and I always believe you never know what the next person is going through. You know what I mean? So therefore, if my waiter looking like just having a bad day, yeah, I might say a couple of things to pep them up, him or her up. You know what I mean? But then I'm also a serious person. I can sit down and have a straight serious conversation with you without even cracking a joke. I mean, so that's so I'm versatile. That's no problem with me.
Gotcha. Okay. So guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in and sticking and staying with us. We are in his safe space, and this is literally, it was a pop-up. Like, I just kind of was like, I want to make this happen. I want to do this, and I want to create this space here on TikTok. And so I chose these two gentlemen, and I'm glad that they said yes. So you guys are here with me, myself. I am the host. I'm Doc, and D, aka Mr. Soul, is here. And this is Be Yourself, even though his profile is saying shh. And he has who is that on there? Bugs Bunny? I'm so done right now. Listen, so we're going to get into what I call this crosstalk. And so I'm going to ask this question, and then I want for both of the gentlemen to answer based off of their lived experience and their lived perspective. So the question that I have is, have you ever suspected that the person who you're now loving might still carry like a flame for their ex? And if so, how did you do? Oh Lord.
Wow.
Oh wait, y'all both cutting up. Wait.
I took the phone with you for that one. You want to
wow. Is pig meat pork?
Really?
I mean, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, and I think people get caught up in whatever the nostalgia was, and and I don't know if it's what it is about having people not letting go of certain things and certain characteristics. Like, hey, you might have liked whatever it was, but whatever you didn't like is the reason why you're not with this person. So why are you holding this one thing that this person has had or had done in such high regard? Like, you're not with them no more. So none of that stuff, it cancels itself out. But the person, like, they couldn't, it was just like, I'll give you a little bit of the detail. Like, the detail is that this person was in their life, and then I came along, and she felt like it was like, oh, well, you're way more stable. You're the person that I would see a future with. This guy is, he's young, he's wild, he's whatever. And, as we go along in our relationship, find out that she's, talking to somebody, and she was saying like, well, it was a time, and I think I might have had COVID one time, and this person might have had COVID too, because they were still in contact with them. And she had made a post saying, not my plan A and my plan B having COVID at the same time. Oh. Right. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I guess I'm the plan A.
Whoa.
But later I found out I wasn't plan A. I was plan B.
Wow.
And, and once we broke up, the first person she headed to
was that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
It is what it is.
Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. I can't even be mad at it, but stay off my phone, sweetheart, please.
For real.
That ain't work out for you over there. Don't come back this way.
Yeah. Be yourself. What's your take?
Next question, please. I'm not touching that one, because that one
listen,
right
you
there,
know I respect it. You know
that
I respect
one right there,
it.
I can go to story after story after story, and you know.
I got you. I'm
I'm a
flowing
strong
with you.
believer.
I'm
I'm a
flowing.
very strong believer. What happens in the dark always comes to the light. Don't think it
100%.
won't, because it will. When that
100%.
light
Yeah,
come on,
that's facts.
woo.
Yeah.
Speak to myself that way too.
Next,
I
next
love
question.
that.
I'm ready.
But you know what? I love that, like in this phase of singleness, it's about being accountable to yourself first and foremost. Like, and sometimes we have more than likely found ourselves attracting people who are unavailable, because that's a thing. So how do you keep yourself and respect yourself and be responsible in this place, with your choices and who you attract? Be yourself.
Oh
Did he
man,
mute? Oh, I was like, did he mute again?
hard questions today, boy. I tell you. You know something, Doc? I really don't know, because
Okay.
what when you in this when you in this field that we are in, the whole psychology field, you attract crazies, and I'm just trying to figure out, is there something on my back that say, I got a master's in this, I got psychology, and maybe I can help
That's
you.
a perspective.
But I try to I'm not out there like that to go with this person. I mean, I've been single 4 years, so and when I did commit, with somebody, I assumed, I thought, I prayed, I thought that person was the one. I thought, this is my one, this is person that's about to take my last name, this is it, I'm all in. Delete everybody else from my phone. It was like that Usher song, "You Got It Bad." I had it bad. I was woo, baby. I'm not gonna sing it because I ain't got no voice like D. But when I say I cut everybody off, I cut off everybody. I was chilling. I was happy. I had no more sneaky links. I had nothing. Everybody was gone. My phone was fresh.
That's a
So I'm
cutoff.
like,
Okay.
damn. When it didn't work out, I'm looking back at my phone like, damn. I ain't got nobody.
Wish you had to cut off everybody.
I cut off everybody, and like you said, I looked at them dating sites. Yeah, that ain't gonna get it, because I looked at Farmers Only. Yeah, so that wasn't gonna get it. So yeah, it's just I try to. It's hard because people coming to you, and then then you think, like I said, you think they're the right one, you think it's the right person, you think this is my person, my partner. And it turns out to be, because everybody plays the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon game, and
Honeymoon
it goes back
phase is
to
the key.
same thing. What Dita said. You thinking that you're that person, and then they still talking to the other person. You know what I mean? So then you're like, well, damn, and that goes into a whole nother big wheel, because when a person steps out and cheat on you, which people don't understand, it gives that person that got cheated on a whole complex, a whole PTSD, because now you think, what did I do wrong? What did what didn't I do? What wasn't right there about me that you went to this person, even if it's a person that was in your past? You're like, well, damn, you left that person. You know what I mean? So what made you go back? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a lot.
Some people just don't have closure. You know that, but some people just don't have that closure. D, you all right?
Let y'all
I was like, what happened?
I'm gonna let y'all finish. Well, I want to talk about that word.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this is a reality. My thing is this, again, this is life work for me. And the most thing that I have experienced has been not to per se psychoanalyze people when I, do certain things. But it strengthens me in this journey, because I never thought, first of all, that I was going to be single. Again, I thought I was going to be married forever, child. But then coming back in here, and then you're getting all this exposure to realities. And one big one for me has been, these people lack closure, and they trying to go back through doors and figure out some stuff that, think about that life. If you ain't done, child, go over there and finish that. So, yeah. So then go ahead and...
What did Jit say? That way.
That way.
I'm not as as well versed and educated as you guys. I'm an engineer by trade.
Stop the madness. Anyway, I hate it here. But close the whole line down, child.
let me go back to what you were saying. The question was have you attracted people that were unavailable? Yeah, both physically and emotionally, right? So I mean, it's been people that were just like, look, like he just, I'm a person that travels a lot, and what happens is when you travel with people that you work with, and it becomes like, well, now we away from home, and I always had this thing, and it's like, what
wow.
and it's just like, but we here, and I just need something different, and all of a sudden it's like, well, and I've always had to think like, man, if the tables was turned, how would I act? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, cause I'm gonna shoot some. Sorry, I'm gonna I'm gonna have a problem. Right. I'm gonna have a problem. So I mean, I think that's been something, especially like the emotionally unavailable. And I think what happens, and I've been guilty of it too, is you get this like not wanting to be alone kind of spirit, and so you're willing to accept anything lower a standard or whatnot because this person fulfills that. I don't want to be alone, so they're here and they're their body or whatnot, but that person is just like, they still thinking of the past. And somebody told me, as they say, I broke up with my guy, and then my ex-husband was, he was there, and when me and my ex-husband broke up, we didn't have breakup sex. I'm like, what is that?
What child? I don't mean to cut you off, but when I was gone, ain't no more.
Right.
She gone. You don't get no more of this.
Like, what is breakup sex? I'm like,
what in the world?
Well, we didn't get that closure. I'm like, please don't use that word.
Wow.
In that instance, because you weren't looking for closure, you were looking for some. And just be real. That's what you were looking for. That was a familiar space.
It was familiar.
For you, and you didn't want to add to whatever or whatnot. And so that person was able to be called. But you didn't do it for closure. You did it because you wanted something out of it.
You just wanted something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's why I did that when you used that word. I was like, 'cause folks abuse that word.
That's a perspective. And they do. They definitely abuse it. Well, listen, we have come to our time, and like I said, I want to be respectful of you guys' time, and I am so appreciative that you took and carved this hour out to vibe with me and to be vulnerable and to share your experiences. I have much respect for you both, and I appreciate you so much. I would like to ask if there's anything that you would like to share to the people while we're here. Please do so. This is your opportunity before we close out today. And I'm going to keep the live going so I can chop it up with the people. But, yeah.
Is breakup sex legit? Because I'm about to make a couple of phone calls. I just need to know right now.
I'm done. Somebody end the live. End the live now.
I'm about to call some people like, hold up, you owe me.
Right. Remember.
Like, you owe me some. That's too funny.
Breakup sex.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that.
I mean, this is a good platform. I wish I could better use my other platform, but the other platform brings other people, and I didn't want to bring them other people. So.
I understand, and I appreciate you asking that, because to me that's always very important, that it is a safe space, number one, and that it is conducive of you being here and the right audience as well too.
Yeah, I didn't want to load up your chat with my people, so.
Asking all them questions. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't need all that, but I like this. It's a good platform, real good.
Thank you, Mr. D.
Excellent. Thank you again for the invitation. I be in my world doing my thing or whatnot, and sometimes I have to break out. So I certainly appreciate this opportunity. I'm like I said before we got into some other stuff. I'm just on TikTok and have fun. If you like music, then you could go to my page. I sing a little bit. or whatnot. I definitely one of my ways, therapeutic ways of getting through stuff is writing or
Therapy.
whatnot. So I write a lot. So I might write
Yeah.
something that you may identify with and connect with or whatnot. So if you see it on my page, it's probably on iTunes. So go cop that. All right.
Yeah. Listen, I love it. Listen, guys, so where you see Be Yourself, he just dropped his handle in the comments. So make sure you guys go to his page and follow him on his page. He do have a bigger platform as well. He just didn't go live on there for a reason. So make sure you guys do that. Listen, I'm going to sit here. You guys are more than welcome to either stay in the box and hang out with me. I'm going to ask the people, do they have any questions that they want to ask? Because y'all know y'all nosy. Y'all have stuff to say. What did you get out of this conversation? That's my feedback. What did you get out of this conversation? So right now we are open for a little bit of Q&A. So thank you guys. Yes, makes sense. Thank you, Dee.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so